What spicy controversy is currently happening in a niche you follow? I'm a big Magic: The Gathering player, and boy, have we had a fun one in the past few weeks. So, we just got a new set released a few weeks ago, March of the Machine, and Wizards of the Coast is doing something new in another couple weeks, printing an extra, add-on set with about 50 cards in it, distributed in 5-card boosters, and there's already a fair amount of discussion as to the appeal of such a product to the player base versus the cost. Lend extra weight because a lot of WotC's recent decisions have been pretty blatantly profit-focused rather than on player experience, and sometimes at its expense. That's not the controversy. The controversy is that someone got their hands on this product about a month early. It's not clear yet how exactly this happened. The likeliest explanation is that it was mistakenly sent to a distributor who either didn't catch it or didn't realize, and it was sent to a local seller who didn't know what they had, and the buyer recognized it and snatched it up. But what's important is that, as far as we know, nobody broke any laws or contractual obligations. Would doing the right thing in this situation have meant this person informed the seller of what they had and told them to contact WotC? Sure, but that's not expectation or requirement, and instead, he opened the product and posted a video of it online. So what did WotC do? They hired Pinkerton Security to go to his house and intimidate him into giving back the product, which is a really bad look, and it honestly doesn't accomplish anything. This product will be widely available in a little over a week. The information was already out there for the public, and they spoiled the whole set today anyway. So knitting drama. Or, more accurately, fiber arts drama. So this woman, Sherry Tenney, https://www.reddit.com/r/travelled_/comments/135yh59/sherry_Tenny McCulloch_farm_updates_may_203/ is a known scam artist in the fiber arts community. She's been scamming for years, and a consumer advocacy group started gathering information last year, encouraging people to report her to the PAAG, and the PAAG finally filed civil charges late last year, with the first court date in June. One of the bigger fiber festivals is this weekend. So, in response to more people continuing to report her for the money she's scammed them out of, she posted online that she's not scared of anyone, and that she's going to use the information about the people who filed against her with the AG and not only doxed them, but basically threatened them with violence. This woman has made multiple threats to shoot people in the past, and is threatening to use the local police to help her as well because a member of the local police is her brother-in-law, and several of the charges from the AG stemmed from the fact that she has doxed people before, and called their employers and tried to get them fired. In the middle of a thread discussing her some random other indie artist, Reservoir Fibers, https://www.reddit.com/r/travelled_fibers_doxxing_in_score-ravelry_sherry/ came into the thread and doxed a member who had made a purchase with her in the past for no damn reason. So it's now an issue that a member of the fiber arts community who has threatened to shoot a large amount of people is attending Maryland Wool and Fiber this weekend, but there's a huge doxing issue in the fiber arts community as this is the third time an indie artist has done it within the last year. Desert Panda also did it last year and has said the person deserved it. The person in question simply asked where their late order was. Niantic, the company that created Pokémon Go, announced at the end of March this year that there would be a dramatic change to the way that many players play the game. In 2020, during the initial stages of the COVID lockdown and subsequent pandemic that forced many people to stay at home, avoid large gatherings, and generally not want to meet other people in person, Raiding with large groups of people in shopping centers and parks took a huge hit in popularity. To compensate, Niantic introduced remote raid passes, which would allow players to play remotely, usually from home, at gyms within sight of their homes, or by invite to a gym anywhere in the world, as long as your friend was close enough to a raid. Initially, these raid passes were sold for 100 Poke Coins each, or a bundle of 3 for 250 Poke Coins. 100 Poke Coins is roughly equal to $1, but there are sometimes deals if you buy them in large quantities, and the price for Poke Coins in other countries isn't always a perfect reflection of the exchange rate for local currency to the USD. This was hugely popular with many players, especially those living in rural areas who could now participate in raids with global players. That all changed about a month ago, when they announced that there would be a limit of 5 remote raids per day and the price of remote raid passes would increase significantly, from 100 Poke Coins each to 195 Poke Coins each, a 95% increase. Although a 3-pack bundle can be purchased for 525 Poke Coins, lowering the cost per pass to 175 each. Obviously, this was not met well by players. Almost doubling the price of doing raids remotely has hurt the raiding scene tremendously, as many players have essentially quit raiding. There was even an effort to get players to boycott the game until Niantic reverted the changes. But so far, there has been no public response from Niantic. I'm a window washer who flexes his schedule where my boss needs me. Currently, night shift and day shift are in a war of petty over towels. Yes, somebody has been yoinking all of our precious seal and window towels. My boss has all the vapors over it right now. Here's the kicker. I know who is stealing our towels. It's the floor crew. But I'm so goddamn entertained watching the day lead and my brother, night lead, absolutely going for the fucking throat of the other crew right now. I've been sitting on my info for 2 weeks whilst I steal towels from my fiance's work site for whatever crew I'm on for the week. Floor crew bosses know I know, so they slowed down, but damn it all if this doesn't have just under nuclear threat level written all over it, and I've got the popcorn for this show. And honestly, I'm just not paid enough to give a shit when I know I have an infinite source of towels sleeping next to me every night. Also, 2 of our new day crew guys got into a full-on car brawl in a company vehicle with me in it. Thankfully, they were just parked at base, but damn, those dudes did not like each other. They no longer work for us. We also just had to fire another dude because not only was he bidding jobs for his own business on company time against the company he works for, he was literally fucking any female we hired. Caught him sneaking off one day to have a quickie with this one girl who works one of our sites. That dude is simultaneously hilarious and very sad. In type font design world, Monotype is buying everyone so they can gouge prices. Somebody very clearly and very loudly shit themselves at a Sleep Token concert in Sydney the other night during the worst possible moment of the song Atlantic, and now the video taken during the show is their most popular YT search. The plant Philodendron Pink Princess have dropped a lot in prices compared to their pandemic level price. A lot of gardeners capitalized back then on a booming market. Some specimens were selling for hundreds of dollars and people bought them in the hopes that they can propagate it and sell it to make up for the cost and finance their hobby. Now it's available everywhere, and although still expensive, not as much as they used to be. Vince McMahon returning to WWE and selling the company. I'm a runner and there is a minor controversy right now about whether Kipchoge is washed. Eliud Kipchoge is widely regarded as the GOAT marathon runner. There are 6 marathon majors that are kind of like the World Series of marathon running. He has run 5 of them and won 4 of them. He set course records on 3 of those courses, I believe. He's won 2 Olympic gold medals. He's said his goal is to win all of the majors. Problem is he ran Boston a few weeks ago, fell apart and finished 6th with his worst marathon time of his entire career. He's also nearly 40 now, Some people are looking at the course profile for Boston compared to the other marathons he's run and wondering if he deliberately picks flat courses so he gets better times. Maybe he is a guy who excels at flat courses but can't handle hills, and this is why he fell apart in Boston, a hilly course. There is also talk that maybe, at nearly 40, he's just done. The talk was fueled further by a guy named Kelvin Kiptum who ran the London Marathon just a week after Boston and won with a course record that shattered Kipchoge's best time in the same race by a minute. Not only that, but he missed the world record, held by Kipchoge, by just 16 seconds. Kiptum is only 23, so people are wondering if he is the new hotness and Kipchoge is washed. For Jujutsu Kaisen, there was this big huge snafu situation involving these Viz Media translators and how much they don't understand Japanese context compared to fan translators. To sum it up, fan translators are people who pretty much grab raw pages of manga and translate to their interpretation. Here's the thing though, fan translators have a big huge ass problems. One of the problems I've always noticed is that they either get too uppity about the fact that they can translate or they make characters into their own walking talk pieces. Example: Guts from Berserk saying homophobic slurs, the infamous "damn you 8 white boy" meme from Gantz, and many more stupid-ass translations instead of focusing on the real translation at hand. Now Viz Media is the pretty much official translators for localized English manga. They either sometimes get it right or they fuck up big time by not hiring the most proper translators. This was one of those times of simply not hiring the best kind of context for the said translation. As one of the panels involving a large character relevant to the story for Jujutsu Kaisen is simplified with a single "no" instead of the fan translation being with more context stating, "Nah, I'll win." Now, let's go ahead and cut the bullshit. I don't know Jujutsu Kaisen and I don't know Japanese very well, but I do know that the initial raw characters for Japanese was pretty more detailed than a simple "no." So as usual, the internet takes its setting of going too far and cranks up to 1 million and started to harass Viz Media. Until one day, Viz Media redid the panel. I personally think that Viz saw the traffic coming their way and simply said, "Fuck it, here ya fuckheads. We had 2 translations on file, we decided to do this one because it represented the fucking character being cool more in our opinion. But whatever. We got like Boruto to go translate, we're not wasting our time with this no more." But now everyone on anime Twitter is now up in arms, pretty much screeching to the high heavens saying, "And we did it Reddit fashion, we bully Viz Media guys LMAO. Look, I know companies from working for them and dealing with management for a while. No one got bullied to doing it correctly incorrectly. They just got shit wrong, so they corrected it by a bunch of sweaty nerds. Like most nerd entertainment shit or hobby drama. https://www.reddit.com/r/hobby-drama/knitting drama this time. Diane Ivy Lady Di Yarns. https://www.reddit.com/r/crash/lady_die_buyer_still_beware/ is a seller in either MA according to her website, or RI according to her IG. She's always known to run late sending her goods, but last year it got really out of hand. To the point where she simply stopped shipping anything at all last year, still kept taking money, and now people are really getting angry. She sends out frequent email blasts bragging about how she's fixed everything, she's gotten everything together, she has a plan to fix everything within the next 2 weeks, and keeps pushing off everything with the excuse, 2 weeks. It's been a year now, and still nothing but 2 weeks of excuses. And she's now pre-selling for items that she swears will ship in December. But the real icing on the cake is that a lot of what she sold was supposed to also have a percentage of that money go to charity. And, from record searches, After 2020 none of that money went to charity. She has stolen thousands upon thousands of dollars from charity, rarely, if ever, ships product, and also has a friend, Benny the Stitch's CEO, who has tried to silence any discussion about her failing business, or blooming scam, depending on how you look at it, by threatening legal retaliation against sites where the discussion happens. And, cherry on top, she started using TERF terms in her more recent emails. She also constantly claims people are racist, attacking her for being a black business owner. No, Diane, people are pissed off because you've stolen from charities and refused to ship products people have bought. The BattleTech community still trying to cope with the Warhammer 40k fans coming over from Games Workshop's disaster, knowing there are many amongst the refugees who genuinely believe the Imperium is a model society and government. Check your fascism at the door, is controversial to say. There's a big problem. Disclaimer I don't know the people involved and everything listed below is under investigation. If you know about anything that I'm about to talk about, then you should know not to harass any of the mods or players involved. I am simply recounting the story in the spirit of this thread. In old school RuneScape there has been some sketchy things going on between a JMod, someone who works for the company, and a player. To understand what is happening, you first need to know that the gold earned through playing the game is oftentimes sold to a third party, who then tries to sell it back to the players. The exchange of in-game items for real-world money is known as real-world trading and is a bannable offense in accordance with Jagex's rules, the maker of old-school RuneScape. There used to be an area of the game where people would basically fight each other and risk their gold in the fight, essentially betting that they will win. This existed for a long time and was removed after the community complained that it was basically the source of real-world trading. Once this area was removed, players now had to trust one another to fight to the death in the same manner as the duel arena, but in an area that didn't protect the investment like the duel arena did. This is known as deathmatching, and is not against the rules, but is the underground of what was left by the duel arena's removal. Stella, a streamer and owner of a deathmatching clan chat, has been known to scam players and get them banned should they win in a deathmatch against her. It was unclear why this thing was happening, until it was revealed that she was dating the Jagex moderator in charge of anti-cheating. He was allegedly helping her do these things in order to obtain mass quantities of gold, which she would then real-world trade and not see any bans for. The bulk of her rule-breaking came to light when another player, Otoblock, was banned for offenses to his account that occurred several years prior. He also has a deathmatching clan chat, and could be seen as competition to Stella since he has a bigger following and doesn't do the shady things that she has done. Otoblock has since been unbanned and the whole thing is under investigation. It's also not the first time a JMod has essentially gone rogue and abused their power working for the company. In the rock metal scene, there's been a lot of people getting accused of inappropriate behavior on all levels. Steve Tyler from Aerosmith has been known to have been in a relationship with a 16-year-old many decades ago, and is being taken to court over it. His defense has released some truly baffling counters to the case, that basically admit he's guilty but trying to find loopholes to get out of it. Aerosmith have just released dates for a final tour, but whether it goes ahead or not is anyone's guess. The lead singer from Dance Gavin Dance was accused publicly last year for some awful stuff, announced he was stepping away from the band as a result, only to return a few months later with the entire band behind him saying he's got over his addiction issues, no mention of the other stuff. Now, one of the guitarists from Between the Buried and Me has been accused of some bad stuff. He's immediately refuted some of the claims without denying the encounter took place. The rest of the band has issued a brief statement saying he won't be playing with them on their upcoming tour, but remains to be seen what happens going forward. These are just a few examples of some that are recent. We got weights and fish. I'm a nurse and it's Nurses Week ATM. Lots of drama in the nursing community about how shitty administration is handling it. From detainments getting rocks and being asked to paint inspirational slogans on then having a breakfast that no night shifter nor most of day shift can go to but administrators flock to, getting an empty Ziploc bag filled with love and hope, to being asked to donate either money towards a pizza party or even your time to work for free. I watch wrestling. One company, AEW, has a shirt on sale of just a female wrestler's face with a black eye that she got in a beatdown in the ring, with a blank expression. No context or anything, which has fans saying it looks like domestic abuse. The idea is, it would look creepy and weird for men to be walking around with a shirt with a beat-up woman's face on it whom non-wrestling fans will not know that it glorifies domestic violence. If a company put out a shirt with Stone Cold Steve Austin on it, everyone knows who he is. No one outside of the wrestling bubble will know who Britt Baker is. You can Google Britt Baker new shirt to see for yourself. Cookie Locs is a popular League of Legends streamer and content creator. He primarily creates content for marksman players. However, he's surrounded in a controversy accompanied by a 25-page document detailing both late and completely forgotten payments to his employees, as well as grooming and sexual assault allegations. There's too much content for me to put it all here, so I'll come back once I find the link to the 25-page document and accompanying manifesto. PC gaming has been one big fuck you to gamers for basically all of 2023. Every big and expensive game that's released is incomplete, glitchy, performs poorly, and seems to be forcing gamers to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to play a game that an old console would play just fine. We're being ripped off royally and there seems to be no end in sight. Gaming was great when gamers made games. Now it's all sterile and corporate. The company that produces The Werewolf, The Apocalypse and Vampire, The Masquerade lines of tabletop games just released a book with the traced face of a real Maori activist in order to show off his tattoos without any permission. Unsurprisingly, this was considered a bad look. Maori tattoos are sacred and are personalized to one's life story. Not to be used lightly, needless to say. Not to mention the writing implies he's a werewolf. If it counts as niche, but there's been a bit of drama in the Star Trek Online community ever since the last 2 episodes of Picard greater than retconned the Enterprise F out of relevancy. Less than Vanderpump Rules. Dude cheating on one chick with the other. The one he's now with, debatable if they are together still, is in what sound like a psych ward. So there's this YouTuber I watch every now and then called Illuminati, hopefully I'm spelling that correctly, who makes documentary-style videos. Basically, she got into some drama with this YouTuber named Legal Eagle, who is a lawyer, after she accused him of stealing her style, which in reality was a super common editing format that had been used in documentaries for years, even before YouTube existed. Legal Eagle ends up responding, confirming he used the styles first and that his editors weren't doing anything malicious. This gives Illuminati a wave of hate on social media, and during this time it was revealed that she was a pretty huge dick to her editors and other people she worked with. That's right, she doesn't even edit her own videos and yet had the nerve to accuse people of stealing her style. Illuminati goes into damage control mode and makes a 40-minute video trying to defend herself. Admittedly, this is all hearsay because I haven't watched the whole video, so don't take my word for it. But apparently, during the whole video she dodges the blame entirely and just tries to make everyone else look bad, even going as far as to publicly show one of her old friends' suicide note. Extremely non-spicy type drama. Because that's the most dramatic thing I'm experiencing in my hobbies, other one being growing plants. In my area we're very nice people, thankfully. The big names in DSLRs stopped development in the area, fully focusing on the mirrorless varieties. The big deal? Well, batteries. Entry-level mirrorless cameras can shoot up to 500 on a good day, while my 7-year-old entry-level Nikon can easily get over 1000. The most I got from one cycle before recharging was 1600. Not super recent, but the big one I remember is the Doornhole in 40K. One of the factions, the Imperial Guard, got a new tank model recently. If you aren't familiar, Warhammer 40K is a wargame that has you build your models by hand with glue. They are quite expensive, for plastic, but generally the quality is top-notch from GW, despite what some folks who are jaded may say. Enter the Rogel Dorn battle tank. It's a big, shiny new tank that looks great, except its bottom plate is missing. There is a large, square space at the bottom of the model that is open in which you can see inside the hollow model, and light shines through the vents on the top. 99.99% of the time, these models are sitting exactly how you think a tank would sit. Most people will never see the bottom of this thing. That didn't stop people from trashing GW for cutting corners. The ire has since died down, mostly due to hype for the new edition, but there was a time that a 1-inch x 1-inch piece of missing plastic sent the Astra Militarum into a rage. Onnet has extended BSMOS but taken away the ability to trigger robo parties. Oh, man. The 3D printing community is in chaos right now. In October, a new printer was released by a company named Bamboo Labs. It completely changed the market for the 3D printers in terms of speed and quality. The problem with these printers is that the support is very slow, and if a specific part breaks, you may have to send the whole printer back. This is very different, as usually you get a new part and you fix it yourself at home. Now, every other company is trying to catch up, and the communities within the companies are throwing shit at each other. Especially the Prusa and Bamboo Labs. It's so toxic nowadays. Cakegate. Space UK hacked all of the top demons. Not a controversy but a drama nonetheless. Not really a niche, but it used to be illegal to use your hazard lights while driving in Florida. Big no now. They were only for vehicles stopped on the side of the road. Hazard meant disabled or parked car on the side of the road. You could get a ticket for driving with hazards on. Well, in 2021, some big dumb head changed the law, and now you can use them on a Highway 55 and over, and only during bad weather. People are very salty over this. The Floridians that have been taught in driver's ed years and years ago why this was dangerous, and then the transplants from other states that drive with hazards on. The drama is going on in our Florida right now. So happy never to have been engaged in petty controversy time. The caveman quit. Okay, serious question. Isn't it possible just to simply make counterfeit rare good cards? Seems like it's pretty doable to make them legit looking. Bad Bunny is dating Kendall Jenner and Niall very not okay. Cute puppy videos. I'm done peopling forever. I'm not really sure what you're asking for. Whether or not CM Punk will return to All Elite Wrestling after there was a massive real-life fight between him and 3 executives in the company. Over time, Megan just got tarnished hard. Def seen that news around recently. Scandoval. Extremely niche fanfic community drama, but there is a guy who's been in various fandom circles for decades at this point, Andrew Blake. His resume includes starting 2 abusive cults centered around him in whatever fandom he was into at the time. The gist of both of them was basically that he could channel fictional characters who were real and simply lived in a different dimension plane. Raising money for LOTR convention that ended up tanking harder than DashCon, then feigning a suicide attempt so the members of his cult, including his then girlfriend, whom he abused, had to handle the fallout for him. Raising money for charity and subsequently getting arrested, charged, and convicted of fraud. Pretending to be an Irish-American man who fought on both sides of the Troubles, survived a claymore to the chest, and had a debilitating heart condition that would eventually kill him. And, tragically, His wife had left him and taken their son with her, only for it to come out that by wife he meant that girlfriend he was abusing, and by son he meant their shared pet sparrow. His son, a sparrow, was a meme for a while because of this sexual abuse, some of which he's admitted to himself. Lying about being diagnosed with various physical and mental illnesses whenever he wants to avoid something and or to absolve him of any wrongdoing because he can't help abusing people, he's just crazy. Lying about being abused himself in order to deflect criticism. General bigotry while talking about how great of an ally he is, including giving advice to other people about how to be a better ally. This is a hugely simplified explanation of at least 20 years of abuse and con artistry, but here's a resource blog, https://thetblogger.tumblr.com/important if you want to read more. Now, he had a Twitter account, but deleted after he was run out of the latest fan community he tried to grift from. He periodically deletes old accounts to wait for the heat to die down before resurfacing. But he just remade it, and is restarting the same song and dance. So part of the drama is just, oh, great, this fucking guy is back again. But the funny part is, he got a new pet sparrow. His son. A sparrow. Running back value. Thursday, 2 NFL teams drafted very good players. They both play running back. Now there is tons of arguments going on if those were good pick. Nobody is disputing that the players chosen are good players. They both will be very good. People are arguing over what draft pick is too high to draft a running back and how you can replicate their production with a significantly cheaper option. In the FPV drone racing world, a company that makes goggles called Orca is dealing with a huge calamity because all of their goggles have suddenly become bricked. Depending on who you believe, it's either a form of ransomware attack by a contractor or incompetence on Orca's part for not paying some license. I'm not affected by this, but it's definitely pretty fucked for those affected. Not yet, but the Hugo Award nominees are about to come out, and there is almost certainly going to be spicy controversy around those, as there has been for what feels like the past 10 years. 7 to 8 years if we're setting the start point at the spiciest of controversies: neighborhood drama. Got two neighbors that live across the street from each other. There's MAGA family and retired military family. Our neighborhood has tiny garages and tiny driveways, so a lot of people with extra vehicles park in the street. MAGA family's son has a huge truck that he parks in the street, and retired military family's daughter has a small sedan that she also parks in the street. Both families are currently engaged in a very spicy flame war in our neighborhood Facebook group, each family calling the other one out. MAGA says the sedan is prohibiting their son from being able to maneuver his giant-ass pickup, and retired military says their giant-ass truck is too big for a teenager and they have too many trucks anyway because they're parking them on the grass in their front yard. Both families are just resorting to name-calling, calling each other stupid, and using cash me use side type arguments. Risky CPUs are starting to be able to run consumer operating systems. I think this will cause a massive shift in computers over the next decade. Basically, for the last 40 years CPUs have been either x86 or ARM. x86 is proprietary to Bell Labs Intel, and those are your home computer CPUs. They'll run Windows, Mac OS, Linux, whatever. They're very robust, but their robustness has also led to bloat. So they're very powerful and versatile, but not efficient. The not very efficient part led to the rise of ARM CPUs a decade or two later. ARM is another proprietary CPU designed by the company ARM. They are a much less bloated design. So they're significantly more energy efficient, which is why they're used in battery-powered devices like smartphones and tablets. Which is great. Was much needed. However, the big problem is that the only two viable CPU designs are both proprietary, This means people learning about CPUs like in college don't actually ever get to see a working modern one until they get a job in the industry. Their education is hampered. Also, it makes computers more expensive with licensing and stuff required to use either design. Also, getting issues resolved is a nightmare because you don't necessarily know how the CPU is working, and they won't tell you, because then they'd lose proprietary status. So it's tough to troubleshoot from the hardware side. Enter RISC-V and open source design. It kicked off in the early 2010s and it's finally reaching a viable state, able to run some simple Linux packages as of 2019. Its open source is important because it means now people learning about computers have a modern example they can look at. So hopefully as these engineers are actually starting to get trained on real-world examples, we'll see some great innovations. The open sourceness of it also means troubleshooting hardware issues doesn't run into proprietary information issues. So you can troubleshoot unimpeded. Also, there is no license. Anyone can start manufacturing RISC-V chips without a licensing fee, which might be very attractive with an ongoing chip shortage, but will also serve to keep the price lower. Now RISC-V is a new design. x86 and ARM have multiple decades of improvement and support. RISC-V is still very new at 10 years old, but it's starting to work. Apple and Google are heavily invested in development of the technology, and in the next decade we might have smartphones running RISC-V hardware.